Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 24 of Walking with Jay. On tonight's episode, who knows what's going to happen? It's just me and my faithful compadre. Oh, no, it's just me tonight. Well, guess what? That's okay, because I get to talk to myself, which is not a terribly new thing in my life. I'm waiting for a laugh. Okay, no laughs. All right, what next? Have you ever tried to be funny while you're just like, look at yourself in the mirror and try to be funny? Try to make yourself laugh. It's kind of like trying to tickle yourself. You can't do it, right? But if someone else were to tickle you, you would say, hey, you've encroached on my comfort zone. I've got a bubble, people. All right? No. So it's hard to be funny when you don't have, I guess it's called feedback is what it would be. Yeah, hard to be funny. Anyway, I'm trying my best, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you all I got. Welcome to Walking with Jay. I'm out here again tonight. For some reason, I have a feeling that I'm going to go longer than 20 minutes. I've been on this low carb diet here for about 4 days now. Today's actually my 4th day, and but the reason behind that is I'm just trying to get my blood sugar down into a manageable level so that I don't end up having to take insulin shots to control my diabetes. I don't want to do that. See, I don't want to have to take the shots. Not afraid of shots, I just don't really like them. I feel like this is way too far out. Let's talk, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like shots. And I don't even like medication, for crying out loud. That's why I want to get things under control so I can get off some of the medications that I'm on. That's why I'm out here walking every night if I can. I take a couple of nights off here and there, but I want to get out here and walk every single night because I want to do this. There comes a point in time, before you start taking action on a goal or a dream or an ideal, before you start taking the necessary action to make it happen, there's all kinds of doubt and there's all kinds of trepidation. Is that a word? Yeah, I believe trepidation is a word. See, the words aren't coming to my head as fully as they do when I'm eating carbs. I'm telling you, when I'm eating carbs, my brain is fast. Just kidding, it just feels fast. There's such a thing as a sugar crash too that I experience. Anyway, back on topic. Yeah, before you get started doing something awesome in your life, there's all kinds of self-doubt, and to me, that's the biggest obstacle right there. Is just not being able to even visualize a better future for yourself, and that is just a terrible, unfortunate place to be. And I don't like being there. Ever since I started walking, taking that one consistent action towards a more desirable future, then you start hoping a little bit, then you start dreaming a little bit, and before you know it, you're doing stuff that you never thought possible. And I've been through that process a lot of times before, where I've started something and just got good at it, and then before long I jogged 5 miles. It must have been 4 years ago, but it was the same process. I was overweight, I started walking, and then I decided I was really going to get fit, and then so I'm still 300 plus pound guy running 5 miles, and so I believe that'll happen for me now too. I believe that if I keep at it, good things are going to continue to happen and continue to go my way. That's what I'm hoping, at least. That's why I'm out here doing it. My first objective right now, my first target is to get my blood sugar down to under 100 for my fasting blood sugar when I wake up in the mornings. I want to get down in the level where, after maintaining that for so long, my doctor says, hey, Jeremy, I think we're going to take you off of your blood sugar medicine. You no longer need metformin. That's what I'm hoping for. So that's why I'm doing this. I am still breathing heavily, but I think I'm doing better already. I did go in and did some blood work at my doctor's office today, and while I was there, I stopped in and weighed myself. Lost about 4 pounds in a little under 2 weeks, so that's a good pace for me. If I could drop 2 pounds a week, that's a lot of pounds in a year's time, so I'll just keep on working on that. Anyway, still out of breath, but the bottom line is it's hard to see what you even want to accomplish when you're not taking some kind of action. So get up and do something with your life. Just do something. There's always some way, I found this to be true, always some way that you can improve your position in life, whether it's in your relationship with someone, or whether it's at work, in school. There's always a way that you can improve your situation. When I'm playing chess, I'm not very great at chess, but I always try to keep that in mind. Even when I'm playing a lot better players, with every move I just think, what is the best possible move? How can I improve my situation? Sometimes really there aren't. There is no way to improve it, but there are worse moves than others. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll give me just a moment of your time, what I'm trying to say is you got to do something sometimes before you get inspired enough to see what it is that you really even want in your life. I'm trying to think what it was that compelled me even in the first place to want to get my blood sugar down under 100, you know, and I'm not even exactly sure what that is. I do know that I want to be around to meet my grandkids. I do want to be around to watch Mariah graduate and to see my sons and daughters get married. I do want to be a part of that in their lives. So that's a motivator. I'm deeply in love with my wife, and you know what? I'll tell you exactly what it was that kind of motivated it. Stacy and I used to, well, we still do sometimes, but we'd like to binge watch shows on Netflix. And there's nothing wrong with that in moderation, I don't think. Well, of course, the term binge watch implies that it's not in moderation. But we ended up watching this show called Life Below Zero. I don't know what turned us onto that. I think I just stumbled onto it, and then I was like, hey, you should watch this with me. And we ended up watching episode after episode after episode. And we see these people, they follow a lot of different people up there. And we see them in extremely difficult situations, extremely with the weather, with trying to get food, shelter, all of these basic necessities that they have to work so hard to attain up there. But they all seem to love it, you know, so we watched that for a while and we just started getting motivated ourselves. It's something that I like to call the Top Gun effect. Why I call it the Top Gun effect is because when I joined the Navy in 1988, and I went to boot camp, it was shortly after when Tom Cruise put out a movie called Top Gun. I don't know if you've heard of it. Anyway, in the movie Top Gun, I don't even know what happened in Top Gun. Here's why I call it the Top Gun effect. Because the drill instructors, when I got to boot camp, made fun of everybody for only joining the military because they watched Top Gun. And, you know, were swept away by the by the idealism of what Hollywood presents as the military. And so all of these guys joining Navy boot camp just because they saw Tom Cruise, and it was kind of an insult, if you will. But you know, hey, Hollywood often I've been a huge entertainment fan my whole life, and so Hollywood always does kind of influence me. I didn't join the Navy because of Top Gun though. Anyway, I could go down 1,000 different alleys here, ladies and gentlemen. Something I call tangential thinking, which means I'll go off on a tangent. All right, you caught that one. All right, so tangential thinking. Let me backtrack, okay? We're gonna go back to what I was talking about, if I can remember. See, now, I have to navigate my own brain here, all right? That's hard to do sometimes, but I'm gonna try it. So as I backtrack, I talk about what reminded me of the Top Gun effect. Do you remember what that is, ladies and gentlemen? 50 points to the person who correctly. Yes, exactly. It was Life Below Zero that Stacy and I watched, and just seeing how the attitudes that people had to live and thrive and survive in that difficult environment was really inspirational to us. And so we started working on our yard more and doing different stuff like that. I talk about how I'll read a book if I don't know how to do something, so I find myself in the library looking up books on how to repair chainsaws and stuff like that. I'm not really a mechanical guy, but there's a book about it, and that, you know, that inspired me. So anyway, we're still working on our yard. But meanwhile, I'm also listening to a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's a marketing guy, and I've been watching his stuff on YouTube and following him a lot actually, and just really inspired about some of his notions about life and success. And he talks a lot about hustle and about the ability to just work. And some of that rubbed off on me a little bit, you know. And so he also talks about putting out content. And so that's why I'm doing this Walking with Jay, is because Gary Vaynerchuk inspired me to do that. And so I get inspired by media all the time to do different things. So there you have it. And as I'm walking with Jay, I start thinking more in line of fitness and what I need to do to be well completely. And so you see, it's just these little things that kind of add up. You get inspired by something, you take some form of action, and when you take that form of action, then it inspires bigger thinking. And really the only things that, I think big thinking is a huge component of success, but I also think big acting and big hustling and big working is the other portion of it. And so I'm trying to back that up, back my big thinking up with big action. For my whole life I've had big thinking disease, and I have always been a big dreamer. I wanted to make a movie when I was 12, wanted to do all kinds of things, but being a rock band, all these kind of things that I had these big dreams of, but I didn't, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't have the hustle, I didn't have the drive, the commitment, the follow through, the discipline to take the consistent action to make things work. And that's just the bottom line of what it is. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to get too down on things. That's how it's happened. And so now the question is, do I continue when I get discouraged now? Like a couple weeks ago, maybe even last week, I don't know, you guys would know better than me if you've been following the show, but I had some depression, and so the question is, do you continue to film content when you're feeling depressed and monotone, and you're not even, what if this affects other people negatively? How terrible is that? All these thoughts just go through my mind. But the bottom line is, since I've been taking the action, I feel committed to continue taking action and to continue doing the things that I believe will take me closer to the ideal that I have in my mind. And see, and the bottom line is at this point, I don't even have the idea set in my mind, or the ideal set in my mind. But I know that there's a better way of living than I have been living. So, all right. So to recap, just kidding. There's no recap on this show. We don't have instant replay, or do we? Just joking. I'm sharing the track with a lady tonight, so that's why I'm changing directions frequently. Still want to avoid people. Weird. It's a weird thing about me, is that I want attention, but at the same time I want to avoid people. How dumb is that, Jeremy? Come on, dude. Just walk your lap, man. Don't try to avoid people. Just do what you do. Anyway, that's called self-talk, ladies and gentlemen. I encourage you to coach yourselves. I can't always be there to coach you guys. You gotta get in there and coach yourself sometimes. I'm just joking. That's the narcissism in me coming out. Anyway, so what do we want to talk about now? Okay, we talked about, low carb diet is what I started this whole thing out with. Holy cow, have you tried that? That's really fun. That is really, really fun. It's like pouring sand into your brain. Try that. Just that's what it's like with the thinking and stuff. Oh my gosh. You get a headache, you get your neck ache, and I don't know, it just feels terrible when you first try to cut stuff out of your diet. I'm really thinking that I might have this carbohydrate addiction that people talk about, and I'm leery of being caught up in a fad, but at the same time, the truth of the matter is, and the fact for me is, that if I go without carbohydrates, my appetite disappears, basically, which is very strange for me, because usually I have a huge appetite. But when I go without carbohydrates, man, my appetite just goes right away. And then all it takes is one little cracker or something to totally trigger me to just be famished all the time and want to eat everything in the house. So there's something to it. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not trying to be an evangelist of low carb or sugar busters or anything like that. You know, because frankly, growing up, I remember on several different spans of time I gave up sugar growing up. I'm like in the 6th grade, and they're having a class party and everybody else is eating cookies and ice cream and stuff like that, and I brought a can of oysters to eat. That was embarrassing because it smelled so bad, but I was off sugar, you know. But the thing about it is, I never did drop any weight. I started getting fat, I think, in the 4th grade, and was fat all the way up until my sophomore year of high school. At that point, I dropped some weight. I think because I grew several, grew probably 4 or 5 inches and stuff like that. Anyway, so what was I thinking? Oh yeah, several times I gave up sugar and I quit sugar, but I never did give up the carbohydrates, and so I stayed fat. I never did. I don't think I lost a pound going off sugar, and it was tough because everybody else was eating sugar, and I used to have this drawer that I would fill up with the candy that everybody else in the family got, just a very weird thing I did. And I do believe when I went back on sugar, I probably ate everything in that drawer, but yeah, I just felt like almost like punishing. It was a punishment for myself for being fat, maybe, is why I did it, And so I don't know why I started gaining weight in the 4th grade. Maybe I had a harsh 3rd grade, I don't know, but I think that's part of it. Been talking with some friends about how harsh 3rd grade was on them as well, in 3rd grade and 6th grade at Caliani Elementary. And so know, it's just one of those things. You never know what causes the things that really what causes what a situation like that. You never know what the full cause is. I think, like Stacy said, it's like today when we were talking about it, she said it was just kind of a multitude of influences which weave together to cause certain effects. Whew. So yeah, anyway, I'm just rambling again, and part of me is thinking, Jeremy, you're never going to get people to watch the show if you don't have some coherent content. So someday I'm going to break down and try to get this show tightened up and be more on point and be more articulate about what I want to communicate. For now, it's a big enough step for me to just be in front of the camera every night and just share my thoughts and my ideas. And those of you who are with me in these first tentative steps towards multimedia greatness, I love you and I appreciate you. And I hope you get some value out of this for yourself. I hope you get some inspiration. Wouldn't it be cool? Here's one of the things I thought. Wouldn't it be cool that in the process of a couple of years, I get in the process of walking and talking with you guys, I get to lose all of my weight. And not all of my weight. I don't want to be 0 pounds. You can't really do stuff at 0 pounds, you know? So I do want to get down to, it would be nice to get down to 200 at least, you know? And so for me, that's what, 100, I forgot what they said I weighed today. I think it was 138, or 138, no, 338. So not doing math well tonight. Never was very good at mental math, but anyway. So yeah, so maybe if you saw some progress here, maybe that would be something that would be inspirational to you. I don't know. Maybe if you, another good thing I think about documenting this journey every night is that you get to see the ups and downs of bipolar disorder. From my perspective, like I've said before, everybody who has bipolar disorder has a different life, you know, and so this is just one man's life with bipolar disorder. And so yeah, so it's another way for my family to keep tabs on me and to say, oh, you know, where's Jeremy at now? And so hopefully it's a way to keep me healthy too, you know, keep me from, if it's possible, from experiencing another manic episode. That's what I'm really afraid of, because the depression episode, that's not where I get in the most trouble. It's when I get manic, that's when I get in the most trouble. That's the most expensive too, because talking about hospitalization stays and even jail stays and things like that, that's where it gets the most expensive, is the manic phase. Haven't talked to you guys much about jail, that's kind of risky, but I thought I'd throw that out there a little bit, because as I continue to gain my confidence and my trust, I will tell more and more about the brutal realities of bipolar disorder and how it affected me, and the choices that I made while I was in a manic state, and how that affected my life both positively and negatively. So I may, as time goes on, I'll probably open up more and more about that. So stay tuned. As if you needed any incentive, as if this wasn't entertaining enough, right? So super grateful to be out here walking tonight. Hey, I actually walked by a person on the track. Wow, didn't turn around. Wow. Okay, here we go. So it's been 24 minutes here. I guess I could wrap the show up and everything would be fine, but I'm gonna just keep rapping until I get up closer to the end of the track. So what else do I want to talk about? Just been doing some neat things in my life. Been starting to draw more, which I haven't really done for a very long time. I really loved drawing when I was in elementary school and even in high school. Drawing was just a huge part of how I identified myself, you know, as an artist, and been playing more music and all of that stuff. I wrote a blog today, as a matter of fact, about those things, writing music and doing art. And so if you want to look at that, you can go to www.unclediz.com, www.unclediz.com, and I forget what the blog title was. I think it was Figure It Out. Yeah, that's what it is. So if you want to read that blog, you could, if you wanted to. You don't have to. Not trying to pressure anybody, not trying to do the sales pitch here on anybody, not trying to twist your arm, as it were. So I'm just trying to do more fun things in my life. And you know what, I'll be frank with you, it has been fun. It has been a lot of fun. It's given me more of a sense of hope. It's given me more of a sense of meaning and purpose in my life, and I'm kind of digging it, I'll be honest with you. So I'm planning on continuing to do it and trying to get more effective in my communication with people. Well, it's been a great night tonight, walking and talking with you. I've done probably close to 30 minutes by the time this is wrapped up. So just want to thank you for hanging out with me. If you would do me a favor, go ahead and hit do it as a favor to me. Subscribe if you want to continue to check out the content that I'm doing here on YouTube, and I promise you it's going to get better over time. It can't always be this bad, can it? So yeah, subscribe, like, comment. I love to read comments. It feels like more of a communication that way. When it's just me up here rambling, it doesn't feel like much of a give and take. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you have any questions, post them down in the comments below. I'll read them and I'll try to address them in my Walking with Jay, you know. If you have any requests for any of the guests that you've seen me walking with, I know people want to hear Lee Ballou again, and I'm super stoked about next Thursday getting Lee back on and going for the walk. I'm also want to talk him into doing a Facebook live show called Name Dropping with Lee Ballou. I'll be his guest on that one. I'm just trying to pitch an idea, you know. So anyway, sure do love you guys. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention. And if there's anything you need from me, please don't hesitate to hit me up on Facebook, or go ahead and like I say, you can leave something in the messages that are on YouTube. Anyway, get a hold of me. Figure it out. All right, love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.